Hey guys! So, smart solutions have outgrown apartments and private homes for quite a while now. And in case you didn't know, the new trend is automating entire buildings. Just imagine a city where all the buildings and infrastructure have a smart prefix. We're talking about Singapore, an island city-state in Southeast Asia. Now, Singapore won its independence from Malaysia 55 years ago, and today is one of the smartest cities in the world. This 283 square mile city-state is home to 5.8 million people with a GDP per capita over $100,000. This puts Singapore in the top 10 countries, although just 50 years ago, it was a small, poor country that had to import even fresh water. Now, its example is science to others. This poor country desperately needed money. Singapore doesn't have any raw resources to develop an industry. The climate and freshwater deficit aren't good for developing agriculture, so only foreign investment could save this small country. Fast forward to today, Singapore has several strategic national projects that make it really smart. The city became a ground for testing new technology. Now, several years ago, Singapore approved a program to develop a smart city. It included all aspects of city life and infrastructure, including transport, telecoms, health services, and resource use. So, the high population density in Singapore demands massive efforts to combat overburdened roads. About 1 million cars drive around the city with a population of 5.8 million, and roads that cover 12% of the island's area. The local government effectively uses a carrot and stick method to transfer its citizens from private cars to public transport. The incentive is the overwhelming cost on cars and high taxes on imports. Get this, a standard compact car will cost you about $500,000. But that's not all. If you want to drive, you need your driver's license and a special license that costs $70,000 and is active for only 10 years. So the reward for this is not hard to guess. It's a super modern and super effective public transportation system. First, you have the city subway, the MRT, that encompasses the whole city and works on autopilot. Second, there are comfortable buses, with arrival times conveniently available on a mobile app. The app also tells you if there are free spots or not. All types of public transport have a contactless card payment, which saves every second possible. Singaporeans don't plan to stop there, though. Public self-driving cars are being tested in the city and will help decrease the fairly intense traffic. Now, with all this, they haven't forgotten about tourists either. There are a half-dozen tour bus routes, especially for them. All you have to do is just get a ticket for 1, 2, or 3 days, and then you just ride as much as you want. You can get off and on at any stop, and then even get on a different bus route at key spots. The routes cover all the city's areas, and they're suitable for seeing the sights, as well as for shopping, seeing museums, or just getting to your hotel after a long day. If it's later and the buses aren't operating, you can call a taxi by pressing a button on the stand outside any mall. If you use Uber or similar services, Singapore also has car sharing like any other city in the world. Now, if you believe the Singapore Department of Energy Resources website, the city has an advanced computer system that controls electricity. It is used by operators to remotely monitor and control electricity producing plants, as well as the electricity providing network. Another smart system provides monitoring of the gas lines in real time. Observers receive relevant data on the status of the faucets, pressure, and other critically important variables. Digital analysis of gas dynamics helps the services quickly react to emergencies. The geographic peculiarities of the island lead to a limit on the production of plant-based food and water. But technology helps here too. Singapore has 4 factories that process standing water, called New Water, which satisfies 30% of the total water demand of the city. They might get up to 55% in the next 10 years. To be able to grow more plants in a small space, the local company Sky Greens Farm builds modular vertical farms. This construction resembles skyscrapers with adjustable gardens inside. The rotation of modules provides an even distribution of water and sun for the plants at all levels of the building. Now, this smart nation strategy doesn't forget about health services. Several hospitals in Singapore provide services through telemedicine. Patients have checkups in their homes, and doctors monitor their life signs using sensors and wireless connections. The MOH iHealth SG app, developed by the Ministry of Health in Singapore, provides helpful information about the clinics and personnel, and you can even watch the lines through webcams. Another interesting project is installing sensors in bathrooms of homes, so citizens can remotely monitor the state of elderly and sick loved ones. So the government doesn't plan on stopping here. They actually plan to increase the rate of modernization in the city. But in its current state, thanks to projects we've mentioned and more we haven't, Singapore is a bright example for other cities and governments. By watching its growth, you really want to believe that more politicians will start thinking about more than their own pockets. Good luck with that one. So when you tell your friends you're going to Singapore, the first thing you'll hear is, "Don't take any gum with you." There's actually very high taxes for gum that's spit on the ground, or for cigarette butts in the same place. Smoking is allowed in special places, but there are enough of them, and they all have places to throw away your cigarette butts. Of course, you'll meet people that smoke and walk, but when they're finished, they should walk until they find the proper place to throw their trash away. Singapore is a clean country because people don't litter and others clean up. The sidewalks are washed everywhere with shampoo, and the bathrooms in malls resemble those of, get this, 5-star hotels in both sight and, maybe more importantly, smell. So the environment is also a very important topic and very relevant for any major city. The concept of a garden city has been huge in Singapore for many years. The epicenter has a route where you can walk from park to park. It seems like the concrete jungle isn't so scary when it's generously adorned with tropical plants. Besides parks, squares, lawns, and huge botanical gardens, you will find gardens scattered on the roofs of skyscrapers, thanks to both the climate and boldness of the architects. The most famous Singapore park is called Gardens by the Gulf, and it's worth visiting to see the super trees, vertical gardens made in the form of 150-foot quote-unquote plants with your own eyes. These handmade giants serve as symbols of Singapore and as symbols of eco-friendliness. They're crowns. Singapore is one of the few metropoles where you can actually take a deep breath without fear. A city that takes care of its pedestrians more than its drivers. A city that set a goal of being the best in the world and is confidently working on that goal. A city that you'll always want to go back to once again, feeling like you're touching the future. Well, that's all for today. Be sure to leave a like, comment, let me know, would you go to Singapore? I think I would. Looks like a pretty cool place. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe either, and I'll see you again next time.